gentlemen. Glory be to Jesus Christ.
Glory be to Christ.
I'm hoping that by my short demonstration, you've begun to understand something that I want to sort of expand upon today. That there is a value in the way that we treat icons. If you go to a museum or to an art gallery, whatever it might be, and you're walking around and you look at the art there, the way that you view it is subjective. You can choose whether or not you like something. A certain piece of art can speak to you in a different way, and you can say, that one is beautiful and this one is not. And then, the same thing, we sort of look at it where if you have a very strong opinion, you tend to look at it as objective, that I am right and everybody else is wrong, and what is beautiful is beautiful. And we tend to think that iconography, we let ourselves fall into the habit that it's the same way. One can be beautiful, one cannot, one can sort of mean something to us and then the others don't matter. Or we relegate ourselves to just understanding that they are just art. That this is a way to make our churches beautiful. And while they do serve the purpose of providing beauty to our church, their purpose is much greater. That I would argue the beauty of icons is no longer subjective, that any one of us can say this one is beautiful and this one is not. But rather the beauty of an icon is objective. It is an indisputable fact. Because if you look at sort of the world around you, if you've been on a mountainside or if you've been in some beautiful vista and you've looked out over nature and have had your breath taken away, have had something about that just sit deeply within you and it resonates and you're just awestruck. That is sort of an objective beauty. You are being instilled with the beauty of nature. And we look at it in the sort of realm of Orthodox theology, that you're not looking at something that is just beautiful because it happened to be that way. We are looking at that moment at the collective work of the Holy Spirit. The things that are beautiful are just one other way of us recognizing God and His actions. And this brings us back to icons. That the importance of them cannot be understated. There's a reason that we try to have them in our homes, that we put them up in our cars on visors, that we have them in prayer books or in our wallets or anywhere. And it's not just me, who's a priest, who wants icons all over my house, but it's everybody. It should be everybody. That we surround ourselves with them because they are not just something pretty. They are a living thing. In the theology of the early church, the word symbol is not what we understand it to be today. If I say, I draw something on a blackboard and I say, this is a symbol of that. Okay, this means the thing that I drew. It is not the thing itself. And in fact, in Orthodox theology, the way that we were all begun on this course of following Christ is that a symbol is the thing itself being present just somewhere else. And we look at the altar, this entirety of this church, as being a mirror. If you can imagine, we are a mirror laying on the ground, and all we are mirroring is the divine liturgy that happens in heaven. And who is standing around being a part of that liturgy but the exact same people that we adorn this entire church with? That as they sort of look down and are around the heavenly liturgy, they are here with us. And that's the entire point of the iconostas, that it's not so that we look at them, it's so that they are with us and we can see that they are here. And my reason for walking up today, for sort of coming down the aisle, is to express to you the importance of doing so. That there is no point that you should enter this church and not come and venerate the icon first. You might have other things to do. You might want to light candles. You might have to get a bulletin. You might want to talk to somebody. It doesn't matter. All of that is good and well and wonderful. But the first thing you should do is come to the front. Because you're not approaching just the icon. And you're not doing something that doesn't matter and you have to go through the motions of it. And if you really disagree with me, I'm never going to force you to do so. And I'm not going to think you're a bad person if you don't. I'm trying to teach you a better way. Not a right way, but a better way. That when you come to the front here, when you walk forward and venerate the icon, that you are greeting God. That whoever is depicted in the icon, whether it's a feast day, whether it's a saint, whether it's the Mother of God, that greeting is that person in that icon being there for you, waiting for you to come in so that you can say, "Good morning, God," and whoever this is, the Mother of God in this case, pray for me. Right now, they are closer to God than we are. They have done more in their lives to bring them closer to God. And by that token, we are able to come up to them and just say, by you being a little bit closer, bring me closer to you. Pray for me. And I want to close by sharing with you all that at our St. Nectarios Malevolent earlier this month, Pawnee came in late. She was cooking for spiritual education, and so she was baking something and brought it in. And halfway through the Malevolent, she walked up the aisle and kissed the icon. And I think I was actually out here doing something. And I told her later that I was proud of her for doing that. Because one minor adjustment to that changes a lot. She could have said that she didn't want people to judge her, or to look at her, or to make her feel embarrassed by walking all the way up, coming late. Because that's not what it's about. The purpose of coming forward for us to greet God is that it is between us and God. And if what you think when you walk through the doors of the church is that you are going to be judged by other people, then you need to start to work on why you're here in church. If you think that people are here to judge you, then you either need to recognize that it doesn't matter. They can judge you if they want, that's on them. Or that if you feel as though you are going to judge somebody who might come in late and do the same thing, then you need to work on yourself and what are you paying attention to when you come to church. And so, I will say this. No matter what time anybody comes into this church, I don't care if I'm out here looking you in the face as you walk up the aisle. I don't care if I have my back turned or I'm doing something. Come forward. Greet God. Even if it's as simple as saying, "God, I'm here, good morning." Let this be first. And you will be amazed at the transformation you see in yourself if the first thing you do in church is to come forward and venerate the icon, to greet God, and then go about your business. You cannot imagine the change that you will see in yourself and in your heart. The feeling, the depth of meaning that you will understand in this liturgy. If you begin with that simple action, it brings us so much. And not just that action of the icon on the front that we sort of have front and center in our church, but any icon. To recognize that they are living people here, present with us. They are worthy of being greeted. And they are waiting for us to ask for their help. Because they want us to be as close to God as they are. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Glory be to Jesus Christ.